Good evening, good afternoon, family. I want to welcome you to our last session of the day before our service begins. I want to welcome you to Democracy in Health and Wellness with Reverend Jerry Mitchell Lee. Before we get started, I want to introduce you to a youth and young adult in the movement. Her name is Stephanie Danielle Wayne. She is a sophomore at Valdosta State University. Stephanie is an honors student who is majoring in biology and aspires to become a veterinarian. She is the only daughter to Lanita and Tawana Carey. Stephanie is a member of the youth department at Unity Fellowship Church of Greater Atlanta, where she has served faithfully, participating in events such as the annual Backpack Drive, Third Saturday Feedings, Jingle Bells Christmas Outreach, and the Thanksgiving Outreach Project, where y'all, sometimes she is the only youth to show up. Stephanie has a passion for giving, and her heart for those who are marginalized is unmatched. Stephanie, I turn it over to you as you introduce Reverend Jerry Mitchell Lee.
Okay. Reverend Jerry Mitchell Lee, a native of Brooklyn, New York, has been a citizen of Newark, New Jersey since 1972, when she relocated to accept a teaching position. She has been a part of the Unity Fellowship Church movement since 1997. She was ordained as deacon in 1999 while serving at UFC Liberation and Truth in Newark, New Jersey, where she served under the mentorship of the now Bishop Jacqueline Holland. Reverend Lee left Newark in 2000 to become one of the founding clergy of Unity Fellowship Church, Baltimore, Maryland, under the leadership of the now Bishop Harris Thomas. She served in Baltimore from 2000 to 2008, after which she was led to serve in Richmond, Virginia in a leadership capacity and developed a homeless outreach along with then Deacon Cliff Speller. In 2009, Reverend Lee returned to Newark, New Jersey, and is presently serving at Unity Fellowship Church, Newark, as assistant pastor with Elder Kevin E. Taylor. She continues to develop her passion of outreach and wellness and has worked as a health educator, dialysis nurse, paramedic, and staff trainer for over 30 years. She currently serves on Newark Homeless Coalition, City of Newark, Interfaith Alliance, LGBTQ Board of Directors, and continues to volunteer at several community organizations, as well as Executive Director of Outrageous Outreach. Reverend Lee is the published author of 5 books addressing such topics as spirituality and sexuality, street outreach, folktales, and short stories. Reverend Lee lives in her passion to work out and runs at least 1.5 marathons a year, while always encouraging others to live their best healthy lives. She truly believes wellness is an energy created from within. Now presenting Reverend Jerry Mitchell Lee.
Thank you so much. How eloquently put. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As those of you who know me or don't know me, wellness and health is my passion, always has been. Some people say I harass them about staying healthy, but pay them no never mind, because somewhere down the line, you know, the proof is in the pudding and they're better health for it. Amen. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope I can give you, I know I can give you some things that will help keep you healthy and that you can share with someone else. Building a wellness democracy, governing your own health. One of the areas where people don't always take charge is in their own health. They put it in the hands of other people as doctors, nurses, practitioners, medical personnel, and they go along with whatever said. Okay, you have high blood pressure. Okay, well, show me what is my pressure. And you know, last time I came, my pressure wasn't that high. So, do I really have high blood pressure, or am I just nervous because I'm coming to the doctor? So you have to advocate for yourself when you get medical care. You have to advocate for yourself when you're talking about your own health and promoting it. And democracy is about making choices, that you have the choices, that you can choose the things that will promote good health for you. And only you know what that might be. It's not the same for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. It might not, your good health is not the same as my good health. It's, totally different. And that's why I use the term be the healthiest you can be. You don't have to be as healthy as the person sitting next to you or someone down the street, but that be the healthiest that you can be, which means that if you have any health issues, to monitor them, keep an eye on them, notice any changes, and just advocate for yourself. Some of the principles that govern your health could be your annual checkup. How many people have had an annual checkup this year? And how many people have been putting it off? Okay. Reduce stress. Reduce it. You can't eliminate stress. Don't believe the hype. You cannot eliminate stress, but you can reduce it. Taking a walk, 20-minute walk every day can reduce your stress because it lets out some energy that a lot of us hold within. So you have to work on different ways of reducing. It might be walking, it might be stretching, it might be doing some yoga, it could be doing a number of things, but find something that you enjoy that will reduce your stress, that's not competitive. You're just doing it because you like doing it. Monitor your nutrition habits. I know. It's sitting in there watching that good movie. You got to have something to snack on, right? Or relax. Well, I'm relaxing. I'm reducing my stress, but I've got my chocolate bar and my Pepsi and my cookies and my potato chips because I'm watching my movie. Okay. Sometimes thinking of alternative healthy things like the lesser of the evils. Like popcorn is the lesser evil, say, of potato chips or a chocolate bar. Let's see. Sparkling water might be the lesser evil of a Pepsi or a Coke or whatever your drink might be, including alcoholic beverages as well, Everything in moderation. I'm not saying don't drink. That's ridiculous for some people, but you have to monitor, everything in moderation, So when you're sitting down watching that movie and you're reducing your stress, think of something that will be nice, kind to your body, to your insides, something that will treat you well. You can move, you can exercise. For every 2 hours that you sit, you should move for at least 10 minutes, whether it gets up and walk around your desk, whether it's a walk around the block, whether it's a walk around your house, whatever the case might be. But for every 2 hours that you sit, you should get up and move. Often after you sit for a while, especially since we've been in these Zoom meetings, and I understand that, you have to get up and stretch because after the meeting's over, oh my God, whoo, well, you hear those knees crick and everything else. So you have to be mindful of moving. And even if you're sitting and moving, you can sit in a chair, lift your leg, do some leg lifts, do some move. It's about moving. And this is all helping you stay healthy. Enhance your spiritual journey, connection of faith and wellness. Doctors, surgeons, health practitioners, all of a sudden they found this new thing that prayer and people of faith seem to recover quicker and more positively than those who do not have it. Duh, we knew that already, right? So that's a thing to remember when you're going through any type of health issue, It does reduce the stress. It does, it gives your body a different movement, gives your body a different energy. A lot of you know that, wellness is an energy, but it starts from within, okay? So these are just a few things to kind of keep you going, kind of get you started. But the most important thing is that yearly checkup. And there's some checkups you don't have to do yearly. Like brothers, have you got that prostate exam? Sisters, have you had the mammogram and your pap smear and blood work and things like that. I'm not scared to ask brothers they had a prostate exam, okay? Because the rate of prostate cancer is rising because we wait so long, brothers wait so long to get that exam because that exam can detect any type of early polyps or tumors or anything going on in your body. So that's really important. We got to take care of the brothers. Come on now. You know, who's gonna pay for dinner if we don't take care of the brothers, you know? So that's really very important. And also the breast cancer. People do not think of men as getting breast cancer, but brothers, that you need to get your chest. You have breast tissue. It's not as developed as women, but you do have breast tissue. And I say that because my brother is a breast cancer survivor. And by the time they detected it, he had to have a complete, they had to take all his tissue away, lymph nodes. It was a third stage, almost fourth stage cancer. So it's important that you keep an eye on it. We don't see it as often, but it does happen. And it's worth checking into, making sure you get that exam as well. Monitor your mental wellness. Real important. Monitoring your mental wellness means that oftentimes we think, well, I'm not crazy. You know, that's a common thing that people say. Well, I'm not crazy, so why should I see a life coach or a psychiatrist or any type of mental wellness counselor? I have a therapist. I don't know about you, but I have a therapist because I need a therapist. I need someone to bounce off things. You know, my wife is a wonderful person, but she's not my therapist. My pastor is a wonderful person, but he's not my therapist. So you have to get someone that you can talk with and iron things out, because you don't want things to mount up. You don't want it to get to the point where you're unable to handle it or things get out of whack. So it's real important, that mental wellness, to get some type of, even if you just go once a month. And my philosophy is people who work in fields or serve in fields where they're dumped on, meaning pastors, clergy, counselors, parents, you know, if you're receiving people's issues, or if you're dealing with people's issues, no matter what level it's on, you need a therapist, a mental wellness person, a life coach, someone you can sort things out with. Oftentimes it's like when we were children, you know, when your parents told you, well, that's not good for you, and you know, we don't believe them. But if somebody else tells you it's not good for you, oh, okay. So it's that kind of concept that when we deal with that. So that's real important to remember. And schedule your time. You know, you're looking at your calendar. Think about your next week calendar, not this week. This week is busy, but think about your next week. What's on your calendar for next week? What kind of time have you scheduled for you? What have you scheduled? Any me time? Have you scheduled 2 minutes of me time other than in the bathroom? It's important. Look at your calendar, and the proof is in the pudding again. You know, if you look at your calendar, you see all the, oh, well, I've got this on Monday, and I got to, oh, that's right, I'm off on Monday, but I've got to do this anyway, even though I'm off. And then Tuesday, and then I got an appointment on, what is there anything scheduled? Okay, next week. Okay, what about the week after? Is there anything scheduled on your calendar for me time the week after next? The week after that? The week after that? Look at your calendar. There's an exercise. If you want to know if you're not taking enough me time, if you're not developing that me time, I do an exercise where I actually get a paper plate and I ask people to put what's on your plate. What's on your plate? And you mark your plate like slices of a pie. Okay, a big piece of the pie is a work. Another piece of the pie might be family. Another piece of the pie might be something else. But just looking at visual, what's on your plate? What is taking up your time? What is taking up your time? Well, my job takes up my time. My family takes up my time. My, at home that, takes a certain time. Church takes up my time. And it's amazing. I did this exercise with some clergy, and it was amazing that the smallest part of their plate was devoted to church. Yet we think that we are such great, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but we think that we're such great servants, but the amount of time that we're devoting to church, and it's not about the time, it's the quality of the time that we're giving to church and to serving, because we said that, yes. So that's just an example, and it could apply to your job if you're in, say, in the medical field, if you're a teacher, whatever your occupation might be. Uh, look at your pie, look at your plate. What's on your plate? What's on your plate? And once you look at your plate, what can I give us a smaller slice to? Or what can I eliminate? You know, lots of times we have things on our plate. Well, why am I still doing that? Yeah, I could take that off, you know, and as you do that, you can find some me time. You have to find some me time. That's so very important. Even if you just sit in an overstuffed chair with some music on and talk to yourself, that's me time. That's relaxing. That's doing what you want to do, not what somebody else wants to do, not what you're scheduled to do, not what you think other people think you're supposed to do, but it's you. Me time. Selfish. Be selfish. Know your triggers for unhealthy habits. What are your triggers for unhealthy habits? What are your triggers for skipping breakfast? What are your triggers for going throughout the whole day before you realize you haven't really had a good meal? What are the triggers for that? What triggers you to eat junk food? You know, not that all junk food is bad, but what triggers you to eat junk food? Some people are emotional eaters. Some people are emotional non-eaters. And so when you're in an emotional state of eating or non-eating, you're not really focusing on what you're eating. What is it nutritious? Well, I don't care if it's nutritious. I just need, I just want to, feed this emotion right now. So a lot of our eating and our nutritional habits is attached to an emotion, whether it's sadness, whether it's happy. But let's face it, in our society, everything is centered around food. If somebody gets married, is it a christening? If there's a funeral, if there's a graduation, if it's Saturday night, so a lot of our activities in our society is scheduled, is surrounded by food, because whatever the reason, we feel as though that everything we do, we have to have food. Our church dinners, after church dinners, once a month church dinners. We're going to have a fellowship after church. We got to have food. Just the things that wherever people gather, there is a need to be nourished. So it's not saying that everything you do, you have to have food at it, but it is saying you can have food that promotes a healthier you, and thinking about what you eat in these social gatherings, because again, so many of our social gatherings is, we have to have food. We have to have something to nibble on. We have to have a full course meal, whatever the case might be. How many times have we, clergy, laity, anybody, how many times after church, oh, we're going so-and-so for dinner. Who wants to go? How many we have? Do we have to make a reservation? So but it's our social life, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's how we fellowship. But thinking about each other when we fellowship. And for example, picking the restaurant. Well, does this restaurant have a variety of food? Is anyone a diabetic that's going out to dinner with you that you need to be cognizant of? Does anyone have high blood pressure that's coming to dinner with you or lunch with you or sharing a meal with you that you need to be aware of and encourage them? Oh no, you don't need any salt on that. That's fine. Just encouraging them, just acknowledging them. So being not necessarily always being aware of people's eating habits, but being aware of their health. If they have high blood pressure, if they are diabetic, We have, I know here we have a couple of people in our congregation, and I think in Baltimore as well, that are on dialysis. So they can go out with you, but just be cognizant of, and encourage them not to do the salt or the whatever, to keep them healthy as well. So again, it's a social thing, but it also can be a very nutritious thing too. It can keep us healthy. It can keep us healthy. Stuff happens and things change. Stuff happens. We during the pandemic, well, even before the pandemic, if you were unemployed or if you were laid off, stuff happens. Stuff happens, and we have to find a way to make ourselves feel better. Stuff happens, and we'll just sit. We won't move. We won't do things, and sometimes you have to think of it as what's that old saying? God will move you when you don't move yourself. You've been putting off that exercise program, but you got laid off. You have plenty of time to start it now. You have to look at the other side of the coin. And it's not always a thing about losing weight. People are very cognizant of, well, I'm going to start this diet. I don't use diets. I use, you modify what you eat and how you eat. There's no such thing as a diet. I've been putting on too much weight. Okay. So do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be healthy? What is it that you want to do? You have to have some other goal other than wanting to lose weight. I want to be healthier. I want to start walking. I want to start swimming. Swimming, it's a lifetime exercise because it's no stress on the joints. And you burn a lot of calories. So when you think about if you want to diet or you want to lose weight, ask yourself, well, why do I want to do this? Do I really want to go on a diet, or do I really want to be healthy? How does that work? And most of the time, if you decide to be healthy, change your, eating different things, and you can't do it it's like becoming a vegetarian overnight. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that because you sabotage yourself. Because after the third day, you're going to want something. You're going to want a hamburger. You're going to want something.